worksheets to go along with the videos, to do them after they watch the video. So for the laundry one, we did a word search because we saw they liked doing word search. So we did that, and they also did one for cooking with words that coincide with both topics. And then for the peer pressure one, Eric and Kyle did one to reinforce the messages they were trying to get through by their videos.
Okay, so for our project accomplishments, we relay necessary everyday life skills through our videos like we just watched. We tried to pick topics that we thought would be helpful to the clients and reinforce them by the worksheets and everything like that. And then we created relationships with the consumers. I wasn't actually in the transition room, but everyone else got to meet everyone and build their relationships and understand like what they really needed in the transition room. And then created videos that were cohesive with the ones of Heidi. We met with Heidi earlier in the semester for like an hour and a half to just talk about the topics and how long she wanted them and what she wanted us to really stress in the video. So that was good, and hopefully tomorrow she can watch them and see the outcome.
Right, so just to kind of tie in something like we kind of learned in class a little bit, a lot of people, like when they see someone with disabilities, they don't know how to approach a situation, or they're unaware of like what to say type of thing. So the things that we took, what we learned in class is like the challenges that we had. Like I know like when I was coming and I was unsure of like the range of people with disabilities, and I was thinking that maybe that everyone kind of not has the same thing, but they all go through the same struggles. But in reality, they actually are all different, and like there's some people who can use their motor skills, some people who can't, but then they have like a great vocabulary and intellectual ability. So that's one of the challenges that we came up with, that we approached and kind of started to overcome through as we went throughout the semester. And we also built friendships with all the clients that we went to. I know like when Kyle and I go, like every time Kyle comes in, Solomon gets really excited to see him. He's like, oh my God, Kyle, I miss you so much. I got to know the girls a little bit more with like making crafts and stuff like that. So like all throughout the semester, we kind of learned to break down the stereotype of what we think someone with disabilities has, and like actually the people in the transition room are really high intellectual and they are high functioning. So we actually learned from them as well as they learned from us too. So that was like one of the key things that we got out of the whole thing. And everyone has a friendship with everyone there, especially with Terry and Wilma too. So that was really important. So I think we kind of bridged the gap from our differences, and we learned from them and they learned from us.
We definitely had to use active listening when we first got there too, because when you're walking into something that you don't really know, it's kind of foreign to you. You want to be able to approach it the best way possible. So like we learned in class, we did use active listening the first few times we met. We just kind of sat, listened, saw how things worked in the transition room. So that's how we kind of got our feet wet.
Yeah, there was a lot to take in, but I mean it was a lifetime experience that I'll never forget. It was really something. So.
Right, so each of us kind of has like what we took away from what we did at CP Rochester, and for me, I picked the Mother Teresa quote: "If you judge people, you have no time to love them." Like if I had the intention of walking in and I judged every single person in the room, I wouldn't get to know any of them and like what they're struggling with and how I can help them with that. So if I had that preconceived notion the whole entire time, I wouldn't get to know anyone in the room and I wouldn't gain experiences from them. So I think it's important that you come into any situation with an open mind, and then in the beginning you learn not to love everyone, but you kind of learn to gain for everyone and like have friendships at the end.
So everyone's seen Pocahontas. I pulled this quote from Colors of the Wind because I really like it. It's kind of explains everything that I've really learned when I was at CP Rochester. Growing up, I came from a small town, like I said earlier. I came from a small town. There wasn't a lot of different types of people. They were all, your same kind of generic white country person. And it's nice to come to college where you're in a city. There's different types of people. It's nice to be able to go to a place where there's people with disabilities that I've never been able to work with. Even going through grade school, it was like they were separated in a different room. So I never really got to know them. So really, until you walk in someone else's shoes, you'll never know what it's like to love them. So that's what I took away from this.
The thing I learned most about myself through this experience and opportunity to serve at CP Rochester is patience. As everybody knows, patience is one of the most important attributes a person can have. I consider myself a pretty patient guy, but I've only been tested in like shorter situations. But with working with clients with disabilities, it really it causes you to take more time and to actually learn more patience, because especially if it's something like they're doing a worksheet or something, and you want them to do it because the whole goal is to make them dependent or independent, not dependent. So as they're doing a worksheet, it's so easy just to help them out, but you want them to, you say, hey, wait, don't ask me what the answer is, why don't you think about how to do it yourself. Yeah, yeah, there you go. I just think that it strengthened my patience, because over a longer period of time, it really tested and helped me out grow with that situation.
And I found this quote when I was looking through things for my paper on my service learning. I really liked, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. And my father and mother got me into the Rotary Club in my hometown, and so I've been always doing community service, but I've never done anything like this, or when I worked at the CP Rochester with the shared ski adventures. I mean, it really opened my eyes to how similar we all are, even though we have different intellectual abilities, or the race, just being in a bigger city, because I'm also from a small town, and just when you serve others, it just really brings everything full circle, and that we're all the same. I mean, it doesn't matter. So that's what I pulled from this.
Okay. When I first came to this situation, I think I said to all you, I was really nervous. I didn't know how I was going to be able to relate to anyone, or like what I was going to get out of it. But I think I've learned that you can always learn. You can always find something to learn from someone, and you learn best when you are around people who are different from you, because it challenges you. It forces you to think in a different way. And I don't know, being able to accept people for their differences, I think, is a really good quality and a good lesson to be learned.
I picked a Maya Angelou quote to put for my lesson learned about how people will forget what, I've learned that people will forget what you did and like what you say, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. So basically what I took away was that it's really about like small acts of kindness and just being there and having friendships, and I don't know, just the little things.
So I said we can do so little for people in need, but yet it can mean the world to them. I remember when we met with Heidi in the beginning, she said, I mean, sometimes you might feel like you're really not doing much, but just sitting there and talking to the consumers, it means like the world to them. So I thought that was really cool, that we can feel like we're not doing anything, but yet it means so much to them. And then like the simple things in life are taken for granted. Like there's one consumer there who has a boyfriend, and she really wants to get married, and she tells people she's engaged and getting married, but like, I mean, we actually talked to Terry and stuff and asked really what was going on, and she said that like they're not going to get married, but it's kind of like we take like, oh yeah, down the road we want to get married, like we can drive a car, but they can't do those type of things. So that was kind of like real life lesson there. And then just to like always have an open mind, kind of what everyone else has said, like you should have to go into a situation that maybe you're uncomfortable, but you have to keep an open mind. You can take away so much from it. And then I just put in a quote, there are no strangers, only friends you have not yet met. So I thought that was cool. I mean, we all made really good connections with them, and I built a really cool friendship with like Patrick and John and them. Like playing card games there. We always play Uno like right before we leave or something, so that was cool. And then I just put a picture of Pooh.
We kind of just like, I found a quote that kind of represents like what our whole idea and like what our goal was for the semester. And the greatest gift that you can give to others is the gift of unconditional love and acceptance. I think at the end, all of us can say that we have begun to accept people with individual disabilities more, and that we gave so much to them by like giving them our advice on what to do during certain situations, and like just sitting down like what Haley said and just talking with them. They really appreciate that. So I think we really did the quote throughout our time at CP Rochester. So.
You guys have any questions?
No?
So, Stephanie, I have one specific for you, because you started volunteering.
Oh, sorry. Oh, it's okay.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Specific for you, because you started volunteering for us in the children's program.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of saw the full circle. how was this experience for you compared to what you experienced before?
Well, I'm a service scholar and I was at CP Rochester last year with like the preschool program, and that's like very structured. Like at certain times of the day they have like snack time. Okay, we're gonna go do a craft, we're gonna go outside. And then with being in a transition room, it's all like free flowing. There really isn't that much structured activity. I did learn from both aspects, but I definitely learned more in the transition room because I got to hear like what they had to say in their life experiences and how they go through things, and like helping them with, like, I know Solomon has trouble with math, or like helping the Heather and Holly with reading and writing. So I think I got experience everywhere, but I think learning more in the transition room, I definitely gained more life experiences for myself to help carry down the road. So
I asked that question because I placed all the volunteers in the agency, and a lot of times when people come to the door, they automatically choose the kids because aren't they cute and fun? And I've had the great experience to be able to work hands-on on both sides of the building. And I always say this when I'm touring, I probably said it to you guys when we took our original tours, that given the choice again to do that important work, which is on the front line, I would choose adults because I love that rapport. And I see that through all of your lesson learned experience that you got that you understood that it's not your teaching, they're learning, it's that you're friends and your peers and you're learning from each other. And that lesson alone means that this was a success.
You did a fantastic job. Enjoyed it. Thank
Very
you.
nice.